first thing, all right, we'll go ahead and get started. It's the 25th day of February 2013. It's now 7 o'clock, and the clock up there is slow again, and I thought I'd reset it maybe for our last meeting or the meeting before. I think our clock is a little off. I know it's not budgeted for a new clock, but maybe we ought to figure out where we can get a new clock. Start with mayor comments, first thing on our agenda. I got a text message today from one of our Locust Street project guys, and my understanding he is going to be filing for unemployment. The project is winding down. We have agreed to move forward with other projects that we can utilize these city employees for. I expect some of the other guys on the Locust Street project will be filing for unemployment benefits here shortly. Locust Street project right now, the good news and bad news. The bad news is it's at a standstill. The good news is they're almost wrapped up. It's at a standstill because of two things. One, the weather, and we're waiting on the good graces of MoDOT. All we have left is one little partial driveway and the place where it intersects with 32. And we've got to have someone from MoDOT come down and give a brief training seminar and instructions how to complete that, and then the guys are free to get in there and tear it up. I don't think that'll take too long for them to get that up to snuff. So Locust Street project is very quickly winding down. Soon we'll be complete, and we'll have a finished product to be proud of. That's all I really have for mayor's comments, other than one addition to our agenda. We're working on getting the sidewalk bid prepared for the newspaper, and we just want to clarify a couple things with the aldermen, so we'll know what we need for that. And also, I got a letter from Missouri Main Street Connection. They are having a seminar about organizing a downtown revitalization program, and they're encouraging leaders and citizens from across the state to attend. Debbie, are we a member of the Missouri Main Street Connection?
I don't think so.
Okay. There's a group rate, 3 or more, $300, but we're not members. I don't know what it would cost. I don't know if this is something that would necessarily be helpful. It's like anything else, you get out of it what you put into it. My question to the board, would anyone be interested in attending this? It's a 3-day seminar in Washington, Missouri. But it might be a good thing to help, you know, there's what, here it says what you'll learn, recruit board members, recruit committee members, raise funds, write a mission statement, write a vision statement. I guess it's ideas on how to revitalize your downtown. And it might be something that
might have been Missouri people.
Missouri State people.
If we do, Missouri State, if we go down there and get our mission statement.
Well, and it's in the first part of March, and their letter is dated February 19th, and I just wanted to let everyone know in case we wanted to. Time is ticking, just to see if anyone wanted to jump on that opportunity.
I don't have time. We've got a deadline, and I'm kind of already in the revitalizing department.
Well, this will be at City Hall if anyone wants to look at it and consider it later. And it doesn't have to be limited to aldermen. It could be business leaders, people in the community that would want to attend as well. All right, I'll open the floor for citizen comments. Anything tonight? I see no hands. All right. Number 3 on our agenda, water tank painting and repair bids.
Any questions? The bids came in way less than what we had been told by the guy that inspected the tank last year to expect $175,000, and the low bid is $116,200.
Does that include labor, Debbie, if we have to do any work on it?
Well, I mean, there could be additions if, I mean, it's been a year since that inspection report was done. So once they get in there and get it drained, there may be some minor things. It seems like in the past it's mainly been minor things, less than $5,000 worth of changes. And this company has done a couple of small projects for us. Roger said he was happy with their work.
number one line, number one tower on line. If we're gonna drain this one, is the other tower ready to go?
Well, this is the tower that was actually offline for a while.
The big tower at Woods.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that was offline.
Okay, but it's not offline now. Of course, it's bigger than
They should have that
Yeah.
done.
this. Is one ready to go though?
They should be, I don't know. They should be, they've been working on it, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be, I mean, I guess other than the painting, it would be a couple days for the painting. And I don't know how quick they'll get to it until we get the contract back to them, then they'll
Did
kind
they
of give us
you
an
a-
idea on scheduling.
Did they give you an estimate of the time it would take if it painted?
I didn't ask for that. That would be more of a question for Gus. And he's not here.
I don't have-
Yeah, I don't have a clue. It seems like before it was, 2 or 3 weeks when they had to
The
do
only
that.
thing I want to do is just to make sure that we got adequate water backing it up.
They should have that done yet. They was working on it, putting it all back up out there and everything like
I sure don't want to shut it off. Personally, I don't want to shut it off until we get it back online.
Well, that tower was actually offline for 2 months, so, and we never missed it.
One,
That one was the one that was offline for like 2 months because of the power issue. Do you guys remember that? About 2 months ago, it was brought up that there was a power issue out there,
that.
so.
Well, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve this bid to Ozark Applicators in the amount of $116,200.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. I'll
have a
open
discussion.
it up for discussion. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion?
Yeah, it's second.
Sure.
Travis, you looked at the contract since you.
Well, we had put together a draft contract that I think was sent out with the RFP, right, Debbie?
Yes.
And so, yes, although I'd like to go back and look at it before we send it to him to sign, and just now that we've gotten the bid, we'll want to put in the contract price and whatnot. So I'd like to look at it one last time before we send it, but yes,
I would like to amend the motion then that we approve the motions with the exceptions of the city attorney's approval. Give him the authority to go through.
Well, he's actually the one who drafted it. He's just gonna modify it, I think is what he's saying.
Is there any more discussion? We have a motion and a second, and I'll call for a roll for a vote.
Larry,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Jim. Oh, sorry.
That motion passes. Liquor license, Signal and East Side.
Debbie, I have a question about the license for Eastside Tavern.
Yes.
Why is that not prorated for them?
We don't prorate any liquor licenses. The ordinance specifically says they're not prorated no matter when you buy them. Let me grab an ordinance book. Oh. Do you have an ordinance book up there, Travis?
I do.
Okay.
It's not prorated.
It's under business licenses. I mean,
I thought you had your paperwork done before you applied for it.
it's 600, 200.
Yes, there's.
This is just the painting. When they get here, why don't we see what it would cost to put $1,000 painting the name on that tower while they're up there? And it'd have to be a side bid, I understand that, but, if we asked Debbie to get us a bid prior to them coming and we can look at it and approve it, I mean, if it's possible, if you get a big tower like that, it'd be nice to have.
It'll have substantially what's on there now, which does say Buffalo.
Oh, so it's,
Yeah.
the bid said for them to replace what we got?
Substantially the same, yeah.
Either that or a picture of the city council.
I don't believe so. We got the wrong animal. If it's a donkey, we could get problems.
There's a specific section that says that we don't prorate them? 'Cause I did see the section that says for each license for the sale of intoxicating liquor by the drink for consumption in the place or sold, which shall include the sale of such intoxicating liquor in the original package, the fee shall be $450 per year. So is that the same for other business licenses? Is it per year or is it?
The other business license section, I believe, says that it's prorated.
Would there be anything that would prohibit us from prorating it?
We just never have in the past, and that's why Martha thought that she might be here tonight, and so she wanted that pointed out. Travis, did you find anything?
No, it's not. I mean, y'all could change the code to prorate it. I mean, the state prorates theirs, I believe, but it just wasn't drafted like that.
And well, the one for regular business license doesn't, it just says for all other businesses or occupations not hereinafter exempted, a yearly fee of $20.
Section 605-140 talks about the proration of
Okay.
regular business
Thank you.
licenses.
License fee for any business commenced after the beginning of the license period shall be prorated. So any, I mean, I know it's a different section, but just was wondering if we could prorate it.
I wouldn't see why we couldn't adopt it as a policy outside of an ambiguous law. This is what the annual fee is. Travis has a different thing.
Oh, the only thing I would say is for the other folks who have licenses and, they, I mean, theirs to be, I would think you'd want to be consistent. I mean, I don't think 605-140 applies because it's in chapter 605 and not 600, so I wouldn't want you to base your opinion on that. But
Okay.
I mean, I don't, the first year is the only time it's going to apply, probably, to be perfectly honest.
Probably. And, I mean, I guess they could wait till July to do it, but, I mean, the liquor license renews July 1st, so
They may not get their state approval before then.
they have to get that first and then apply for this license?
Apparently, they have to get this license first before they can get their state license,
Oh.
as I understand it.
I think I would be a proponent of prorating a license fee going into business, but not going out. For example, if they on January 1st purchased their license for the following year and then went out of business halfway through the year, they wouldn't get half of that refunded back.
Yeah.
Does that sound appropriate?
Does 600-060 allow us to amend or to do that, to give them prorated?
Oh, and I think we could probably do it regardless of 060, but that would be the, if you want to make a written policy, that that's what you're going to do, then I think that section would be the means by which you do that.
I just think that for this instance, I mean, it's kind of a hardship to ask them to pay $450 and then turn around and pay it again here in a few months. Because
Sometimes that's the cost of doing business too.
it is, but we should make it easier to do business in Buffalo, keep the businesses in Buffalo.
I don't have any problem making that a policy. As far as the policy discussions, and anyone have anything else to add?
That's something we need to, make a motion on.
I would vote, that, I mean, if you're gonna approve it, I would include your motion to approve.
Okay. As far as East Side Tavern goes, I would, like to make a motion that we would prorate their license. In this instance.
We have two applicants. We're not, if you're gonna do it, you have to prorate both of them.
They're not, I don't know that they're applying for the same one.
I'm applying for it.
Well, I think if you're gonna prorate, you need to prorate everybody the same.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
Just be consistent with whatever it is.
So if you look what, it's March,
July 1st.
that's when you get them in July, so you apply in March, I think.
Regardless of $30, if it's a liquor license, it's a liquor license. The signal's gonna be paying the same amount when they renew in July, right?
The signal's applying under the wine tasting, the new section under wine tasting, so it's only $25.
So it's only $25.
And East Side's applying for the by the drink, which is $4.50.
We prorate as long as it's over $25.
I'm fine with prorating both, I just think that that's,
It isn't a deal, but it's not consistent. I'm just saying, if you're gonna do one item, you have to do both, and you can't distinguish between the liquor license and a restaurant license. If we're gonna prorate one, we prorate all licenses doing business in the state of Missouri. I mean, in the city of Buffalo. I don't think you can just go out here and pick and choose what type of license you're gonna prorate.
I think
I think you have to
this
do
is
them all.
the only one that we don't prorate is the liquor license, right? We prorate the others, other business licenses,
Business licenses.
but not liquor
But I think what
licenses.
Jess is talking about is the different liquor licenses, the buy the drink, the restaurant, the wine tasting, on down the road. What he's saying is, if you're gonna prorate one, you should prorate all of them. And I think that was,
But because if somebody buys out one of the liquor stores and gets a new license, he has to start over. Because they're not transferable from one name to the other. So it should be a consistent situation. Debbie and Martha know when someone comes in and says it's consistent, this is the way we do it.
I know when I bought the gate of the daycare, it was a situation where, in my mind, it should have been prorated, and it wasn't. And it was only $20, it was still pricey,
Yes, it's a good.
you know. Well, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
So I think all licenses, period, should be prorated.
Is that something we need to change the ordinances on? Can we this time agree to prorate these ones and then work towards changing the ordinance?
do either of those things. Change the ordinance, you could vote this time to make that how you're going to approve it. I think you all could adopt an administrative rule, but that's the rule going forward, and not adopt the revised ordinance.
And the reason I asked about doing it separately was that I had a little bit of an issue with the gas station wine tasting. So I would like to just make my motion to prorate the liquor licenses. I think you can include all of them, but
And is this a motion for just these or just a policy that's broad for, if someone were to apply in 5 years, it would be prorated?
I would like to see us always prorate them, but
So
if we need to make a change in our ordinance book, then
your motion is just to set an administrative policy to prorate licenses as they relate to alcoholic beverages.
yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. I'll open the floor for discussion. for a roll for vote.
James,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Jim, Larry,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
Jess.
Aye.
All right, policy on prorating has been approved. We also have the issue of requested licenses. Do we want to take Scrivener Oil Company and Eastside separately?
Well, they have licenses now.
But business licenses, but we approved the ordinance, I guess, one of our last meetings, and since the new ordinance went into effect, these companies have applied for licenses, and they need to be approved by the board.
Signals requesting the new wine tasting license. Eastside is requesting the drink license. If you recall, we modified the ordinances to allow the wine tasting and to allow one more hard liquor license in the city based on population.
Are we looking to give them a license, voting on giving them both a license? I mean, is that what we're doing?
Oh, we're waiting for a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion to give them a license, both apply.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second, and I'll call for discussion.
Do we know how many other people would be eligible to apply for this? If there's only a finite number of licenses, and these are locked in, once they're given, you're never gonna take them away. And I'm just curious.
There's always been that way.
Oh, I know that.
You know, now on wine, I'm from the old school, and I can remember when Springfield was this way. When there was a limited number of licenses within the city limits of Springfield. And they went from very high prices, $75,000 to $100,000 for a license. And one day, the city council said that it's not appropriate. Everybody wants a license, and you got $500, give them a license, and that's what they did. I mean, they changed their situation within the city, within the word of the council.
And I think that being said, if outfit A were to come to town and say, we'd like to open a bar, then the board could consider again amending our statute to allow for an extra.
Somebody might want to open a big fancy steakhouse. I mean, it can
Well-
always be amended. It's nothing that's in concrete when it comes to the liquor license.
But I think the question is, these folks have applied for licenses.
And they're available.
There. Is there any more discussion?
Debbie, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Debbie, I'm assuming, have they filled out the proper paperwork and you have all the information you need?
Yeah, I mean, they all both already have licenses, so I think Martha even pre-populated the information for them.
Is it a typical thing for a gas station to serve by the glass? I mean, wine tasting, I mean, how does that work? It just seems odd. Maybe I'm out of the loop and I've never been to a gas station that was offering wine tasting. Is that normal?
Didn't Sharps do that used to, or did they ever actually? do
Yeah, Sharps had one.
I'm all for giving them a business license, but it just seemed weird to me. Sorry.
I mean, that was a package store.
that? I know, it's a little bit different.
They,
People in McDougal's, they offer wine, and now we'll mix your drink.
McAdoo,
McAdoo's,
Rapid Roberts. Yes, and they are a gas station.
Yeah.
and there are other gas stations where you can go in
It's
and
becoming,
give you a free sample and encourage you to
Drink and drive.
take the wife home a bottle of
right, we
wine.
have become, in the state of Missouri, one of the largest wine producers in the Midwest. And this is gonna generate income, it's gonna generate, and eventually we hope wineries and people. We're building a very big one at Marshfield, it was gonna be a honey wine. Buildings are tremendous, the government owns them, but
You know what a honey wine's called, don't you?
No.
A mead. You ever had mead?
I've had a little over.
Moving along.
Yeah.
Moving along, moving along, it's been discussed.
Is there any more discussion? I'll call for a roll for vote.
Larry,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Right, that motion passes. Next item on our agenda, the Board of Alderman take.
I asked that this item be put on the agenda, and the reason is that forever the school board has served with no pay. And I think that it's showing a good faith that this board should seriously consider doing likewise. Now, one of my problems is that this is the first time this has come up. And I think a lot of times when things come up, we have to make a decision and vote on it. Therefore, I would request that this be put on the agenda again at the next meeting. And I want to put everybody on notice that at that time, it's my intention to make a motion that we henceforth serve for no pay. And whatever the board's pleasure is, that's fine, but that'll give a couple of weeks to think about it.
Okay. Do we need any discussion on it?
I think that was also mentioned in one of the first budget reports. I think it's a great idea.
All right, we'll put it on.
Reducing the mayors at the same time.
We're gonna put that on the next, we can put that on the next,
What's good to the goose, good to the gander.
Well, the problem is that councilmen don't put in 20 hours a week.
Board of Alderman pay will be on the next. Bench in front of the seniors, center.
Coffee family, as I showed you this, is requesting permission from the city to put a concrete permanent bench in front of senior citizens and do away with the wooden bench that they have that's been through the window a couple times because it's portable. They requested, I bring it to the council can make their decision.
Be replacing an existing bench.
We're replacing the wooden bench because of the fact that it's all over the place up there.
That's what we said, seeing it, never gonna look good.
Yeah, you know, Kenny won't have a place to sit, but, you know, we'll just give him a raise and he can sit there. Besides that, Christie needs a new bench next year.
Has anybody talked to the senior citizen people to see if they have any, are they fine with them?
You know, they gotta contact the main office. They would go through the city first, and they gotta contact the main office, get their approval, they're gonna try their building.
Well, you know, there's two ways to look at this thing. Either the sidewalks are ours or they're not. You know, we made a commitment when we started building the sidewalks, that changed the terminology of who owns the sidewalks in the city of Buffalo. For years, it's always been a controversial issue.
We've been told it's homeowner owned.
That's right. But now, if the homeowners own it, then we shouldn't have to pay for it. I mean, I'm not griping about paying for it. It's an establishment of who owns the sidewalks. If we repair the sidewalks in the city around the square, if we do the repair work on it, then the sidewalks in front of us belong to the city and under our control. If somebody slips and falls on them, we get sued. Always.
Well, and I don't think it's a matter of opinion and historically necessarily what opinion it's been who owns the sidewalks. I think it's a matter of law. If it's in the public right of way, I would guess it's probably the city owns it. And I think for purposes of dedication and maintenance, it makes sense that the city takes responsibility. We might have duped downtown business owners in the past into paying for the maintenance of city property. But that's my, my,
Now, didn't we put the ones, did we give the county court permission to put theirs on around the courthouse? Did they ask us? You have to ask you guys.
I don't think they do.
I don't remember. I don't think the city has any control over the county court, so it's strictly the county. We got into that when the parking meters were there because
That's right.
the city had no control over putting parking meters. But aside from the law, I think it's just a matter of common courtesy that before we say, hey, we're the city, we're gonna do it, you want, and if they for some reason didn't want to do it, I'm sure there's another business around that would offer it. I mean, they can put it in front of my office, but it's not on the square.
Let me ask you this one in regards, because I'm a little confused. Controlled parking adjacent to the county courthouse is entirely county court's decision. The city has no authority on parking and non-parking and sheriffs around the courthouse.
That's what was arrived at when they had the parking meter.
Well, why don't they pay the asphalt when we go around the courthouse? If they have control of it, they should pay it. is what
Well,
I'm
that's
saying.
not really the issue before.
That's not the issue, but it's an issue that I've asked.
and I think we need to look at the deeds, what
we-
property description says, what the right of ways are
Have we heard from the county?
on,
Bill?
not that I'm aware of, that expired at 5 today.
Evan, did you hear from the county court? Okay.
And they won't.
They were off the table?
They've had an offer, I heard 35,000. Or more, 3 people want it, that's what I was told, that don't mean that.
Can we make a motion to approve this on approval from the senior center?
Is there a second?
Second.
I'll call for a roll for a vote. Oh,
Je-
I'm sorry, discussion. Is there any discussion?
We approved it.
No discussion, I'll call for a vote.
Jess,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Wayne.
Yes.
Also, what about the step down there in front of your business down there, up there? You didn't want the steps up there.
Well, no, and we can save it for another time if it's, I don't want to get off topic. It was just what we've observed as far as the functionality of the sidewalk there for the seniors. I mean, they can't get up the step and they won't walk the extra distance to the ramp, and so it's a struggle. So I think that we can save that for another time.
That's where this downtown revitalization program right here would come in. They haven't paid me to advertise for it.
$300 for repair the sign.
All right, street lights on Highway 65, and I don't know what this is about, but I have an idea.
I have an idea. It's mine. You know, if you'll look all the way from Kevin Sharp's basic driving through there, all the way to the stoplight, there is not a street light. They're turned off. Now, the next time you're out at night, drive by. I mean, it just looks like the town, you come by the bank and you come by a couple of places, the Dairy Queen, then all of a sudden the town turns dark. Well, that's not very inviting to people that's coming through our area. It doesn't look like we're very ambitious or very front-going. Debbie's informed me that that's part of the highway department and it's part of MCARS. Well, my question is, let's find out why it is and whose it is. And Shoemakers was turned off because a lot of those lights, I understand, back during the years was paid by property owners.
What input you told me.
Right, well, you know, they've got as much rights to street lights as Wayne does, or you guys do. I mean, they're taxpayers, anyplace else. To make the town look nice, to build what we're trying to build, to make the town attractive, to make the town, I think we need to see about trying to get those things repaired, put back, and see what it's gonna cost us. If we have to go to MoDOT, let's get somebody to line us out and tell us what we need to do. Have Empire tell us what it's gonna cost. Then it's up to us to decide if we want to forward the money out of the, because, you know, other capital funds. A lot of places we could probably fund that money in the future. But it just looks kind of bad for a town to,
Go black.
yeah, to go black and drive through it.
It
and
is
look at
dark
it. It is dark.
They tried counting 5, 6 lights out last night, so I was about to do it.
I was about to done counting 16 out. I mean, just,
The question becomes, if that's the state right of way, is it the state's responsibility to provide lights? I mean, when it comes to simple things like mowing right of ways, when it doesn't take a whole lot to get out there and mow, I don't have any problem with those little things that simply need to be done. But is this a major financial undertaking that we need to take up on behalf of the state?
but the existing street lights are on 65 highway are on our bill now.
Okay. Are they, or are they?
Yes, aren't they, Debbie?
Huh?
The street lights that are on 65 are our bills, right?
No, the ones that you had asked me about that have all been shut off were privately paid for at one point, but the
Who
highway,
pays for the ones that are lit now?
are they like near the intersections?
You know, I'm talking about in front of Bullseye, in front of the hospital, in front of CW, I mean, through the.
I just have to go to Empire. They pretty much told me that if you wanted to put streetlights in through there, you would have to do MoDOT's requirements. MoDOT's not going to pay for them, according to Regan with Empire. But they have specifications as far as your poles, height. They're going to be brighter than what you have here in town. He said it would just get very expensive. So if you guys want me to get Empire to price that, I just need you to give me an idea of how far apart you want them. Because in the past when we've asked Empire that question, they said that's up to you guys. What do you want to set as a standard as how far apart you want your lights?
Well, the standard I want to know is, do we pay for any of them at the existing time? If we don't pay for any of them, it's a different deal, but if we pay for any of them, from all the way from Main Street to Truman Highway, to Truman Street, if we pay any of them, we need to pay them all. To be equal to all businesses are not pay any of them. If we don't pay any of them, I don't care, we never pay.
We don't pay any of them, and it may not be fair to one business who's paying for the light out in front of their shop, and then we pick up the bill on their competitor
On
down
the
the road.
neighbors. But I mean, if we don't pay for any, it's a different situation. But if we pay for any of the lights, down through there, all the way from Mill Street, all the way to Truman, if we don't pay for any of the lights there, then that's it. But if we pay for any, we need to pay for.
We pay for lights right now on city streets. I'm not sure if we pay for any of the lights on the highways. And that's something that I'll have to direct to Empire.
Or the other side of it is we could use transportation fund money or capital
I
improvement
just want
money.
to, I mean, it just looks bad. Somebody needs to put some lights out there.
We could even go with fancy lights to spruce
Well,
up.
it would be nice, but four-wall lights all the way through there would be beautiful. I mean, yeah, it really, but I don't think we can afford $1,500 to $200,000 a light bulb. But, you know, by next meeting, I want to know what lights we pay for, if we pay them, if we don't. And if we don't pay for any of my discussions today, if we pay for them, then we got to try to be equal to all businesses who are sales tax collectors for us out there. Make the town look nicer.
Debbie, can you look it up? to see-
Yeah, I'll have to get a police officer or somebody to go by and get light numbers for me off of the 32 and 65, and then I'll have to submit that to Empire. But I'll send a request down to Sam tomorrow to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got 13 police officers. One of them can do it.
All right, next item on the agenda is the airport grant. I think initially you talked about getting a $100,000 grant, wherein we would be putting out $10,000. And Mr. Scott has come to me and said, similarly situated airports are getting estimates of around $130,000 to do that same work, which would put us out at $13,000 instead of 10. Is that correct, Barry?
That's correct. That's been, I don't know, quite a while ago, and we submitted a request for a grant for, I think we figured, we got a bid, I think, from somebody for $90,000 for doing it. Time has passed, of course, and at the moment, DOT is putting a package together of a total of 5 airports, all in one group. One of those 5 has just about the same needs that we have out here, and they submitted a quote, got a quote submitted, they submitted for $135,000, and his name is, anyhow, he's concerned because of the difference and the same amount of work to be done. And so he don't know, we don't know, all he's asking for is the board to approve, if necessary, to go up to 10% of $135,000, if that's, so that he can go ahead and put the package together.
And Debbie, did we approve up to $15,000 for the airport this year? From the transportation fund, I believe in the budget.
Budget.
That would mean about another $4,000 for us in addition, making a total of about 13,
14,000.
3, 13, 5, whatever, you know, something like that. And
Wow.
so I need to call it in the morning, and if the board will give approval, we'll go up to whatever it takes up to that point.
Do we have to have that engineered in?
Hmm?
When we get the, we have to have that engineered?
Yeah.
That's what's in there. We have to have it engineered going.
No, their engineer has been there, and so,
That's how we got the
inspected
9,000.
everybody. The engineer's already inspected the airport, and the safety officer, she's been down, looked everything over. And 2, he's not saying that it's gonna cost us that, but he says he needs to go ahead with the difference they're not knowing, but yet he wants to.
We want all we can get, don't we?
25,000 is what was put aside.
25. My recommendation would be to approve up to 15,000 just in case. See where the bids fall.
Can we use that money for anything else down there?
Yeah, actually, I have a plan to kind of revamp our little pilot rest stop room, our little office there. Perry pointed out, in case the governor were to fly in and the first lady would need to use the restroom, the facilities there. Yeah, it's and part of it floods. Last summer, I got a hold of Roger. I talked to Roger and Mike Cheek about putting in a break there and diverting water away from the doorway, and then going in and using some of the good labor from Chief Higgins that was put in our fire department, and I can put in some manly work there myself, and we can stick that place up and make it really presentable. So I would like to invest some money in that area down the road.
I thought that's what was going to do.
Well, I would make a motion that 15,000 to the 25,000 that's been approved can be used for this project.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second, and I'll open the floor for discussion. Is there any discussion?
Someday that airport's got to help the city of Norfolk. Someday in the future. I don't want, I still got that in my head, it will. I still think it will someday. I may be dead and gone, but I think the airport one day will help us.
Not, at least I hope that someday maybe have there.
Me?
I might crash it there.
I'll pull you up here. All right. Like your guess.
Any more discussion? All right, I'll call for a roll vote.
Jess,
Aye.
Larry,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
James.
Aye.
That motion passes. Mr. Scott, the board's approved up to 15,000
Well, I don't know that we'll have to go up for the other 3-point-something thousand, but it gives him the ability to go right to work now and, without having to worry about running into something with a high cost and ain't gonna have, but the 10 from us, or 1.9, or whatever it was, and so.
When are they gonna
He'll
do
go
it?
ahead in the morning then.
When are they gonna plan on doing it?
I don't know, if they get close, I think probably gets the breakdown, because he's been working on it now, that group of 5, and that's the reason that he's putting pressure on me to get the information so that he can go ahead. And so I suppose when the weather gets good,
There's some land out there we need to get too.
These things start at 7.
What do you do? Just put it on straight through.
All right. Yeah. The next thing on our agenda, that I've added it on there, is our sidewalk bids. We're putting together a bid to be published in the paper to do these sidewalks that I had formally proposed doing in-house with our local street crew.
Now, let me ask you this, Andy. I have never seen a proposal, written proposal of the streets we're gonna do and how many.
Debbie's got it.
Yeah,
Have you looked at them?
Yeah, Jim put together what streets he,
Went on a written piece
He
of paper on
suggested.
scratch paper.
You've got it.
I don't have it.
How many feet?
Huh?
How many streets are we gonna do?
I've been there, range that.
and Debbie can get that. She's typed it up as well.
Jim showed me every inch of it.
Debbie's got a copy of it.
Well, I don't have a copy of it. I live on Oak Street. Maybe Locust Street to Ramsey.
You see your map, Kristen.
Some other streets there a little bit. Some short ones, some short ones.
Do you know where, Jim?
Locust Street to Ramsey, I think. I think Debbie probably got a copy of it.
I just made a copy for everybody while I was, doesn't take but 3 seconds longer to.
That's a nice thing.
And there's some side streets, but I don't remember where those at. Those short, but we have a rock one.
Does anybody else want to see it? I'll make a few more copies while they're looking. Paul?
Don't we have a lot of sewer work to do on Walnut Street up in there? I think that's where they found a lot of infiltration coming in and coming around Walnut Street.
According to Roger, though, there's sewer doesn't flow underneath the sidewalk.
That's what we've got to do a lot of work. I know I was down there when Cameron is down up in there, there's a bad section turn. How we coming on there?
That's a good question, because there's a manhole cover that's painted orange near my office, and I wondered why it was painted orange.
Well, it doesn't make any difference what we do, whatever we look at. At the time the bids come in, we can decide what we're gonna do at that time. Bid it all and then chop.
We need to decide what to put in our bid, though. Do we want performance bond, a bid bond? There was a suggestion, you mentioned something during the last meeting, and there was some, I guess, confusion when we were starting to put it together to
Well,
submit
what do
it.
let's discuss this just a little bit, with a little common sense and some ideas. Are we going to demolish, are we gonna demo the existing sidewalks? Are we going to?
I said, what was over to it, the sidewalk set.
So
And then the bid, we have it right now reading two ways. What do you bid to just go in there and pour new? And what do you bid to tear out and pour new?
Okay. Now, it looks to me like, you know, as far, and then what about the cosmetics? What about the cleanup, the leveling and the seating? Now, there isn't a question in the world that we can do that cheaper with our boys than we can a contractor raking gravel or raking dirt and seeding it. That portion of it, the rebuilding or the doing that sidewalk, putting it back in day-one condition, can be done a lot cheaper with our city employees.
As far as that goes, we've got guys worked out there all summer on the sidewalks, so we're working.
But the question is, by the time they get in there and get to working, Roger, it'll be in the springtime mowing season for Roger and his boys. Are they gonna have adequate time to take care of all this? Because we're talking about either doing one of two things, having someone come in and do everything for us, or having someone come in and do some of it for us, but put a burden on another department. And the way it's bid right now, it's bid both ways. You can bid A, just go in and pour the sidewalk on quote-unquote virgin ground and go home, or you can come in and do the prep work, the pouring, the cleanup, and then go home. It's requested to be bid both ways.
Well,
But the question is about bonds. What?
yes, I think that if this is gonna, if it's gonna be bid, they need to be bonded. I don't want them to walk off from this job and then us get our people back in to rake and clean up. If they're gonna bid it on a turnkey basis, if that's one of the alternatives, then it's gotta be bid. It's gotta have a performance bond on it.
And Debbie, what was the other question? There was talk of a bid bond.
A bid bond, because I wasn't sure what the requirements were on which projects we've used them. And some projects we've used them, some projects we haven't, so.
The only thing a bid bond does is tell you that they can get the bond if they get the contract. You don't have to do a bid bond. If you do a performance bond before the contract's signed, it's the same thing. They don't get the job until the bond is put up to the city.
So, and I guess my question is, what do we want? Because I anticipated this being run in the paper 2 weeks ago.
Well, I think they ought to have to put a bid bond.
A bid bond and a performance
Well,
bond?
they have to put a performance bond.
Okay.
They have to be able to put us up a performance bond. Because if they don't complete the job to our satisfaction, and we've already paid it, we'll never get the job. If they've got a bond on it, they will either finish the contract as written, or the bonding company will.
So bid bond and a performance bond.
Bid bond, performance bond. If they're gonna get a performance bond, they can get a bid bond. Bid bonds don't cost any money.
Those are the optional ones. Bid bond and performance bond are optional at the city's discretion. Or payment bond, if it's over $25,000, you have to have it by statute, so.
And there's no problem putting all three of those in the bid.
But the performance is a bid bond. Counselor, I've been writing performance bonds for 50 years. For the state, for Army Corps of Engineers, for a hell of a lot of people. And performance bond is all they've ever required. Performance and material bond are the two types of bonds that you have.
Or they come together oftentimes, but they're not.
All the time, but you never get a thing, I've never seen a different bond that's.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Jess, I'm just saying under state law, all you have to have is a payment. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let Travis know what we want to put in there, and if we want to put a kitchen sink in there, we can put a kitchen sink in there. But my point is, I want this.
We can request the performance and payment bond. Look at the bid. If the company sells sixes, we don't have to make them come up. It has to be in the bid specs. They have to be able to comply with our requirements. But it doesn't necessarily mean it will because if the bond would be $5,000, and we feel like they'll adequately complete it, they can reduce their bid by $5,000, and we'll make a good performance bond. But that's after the award, that's prior to awarding the contract, after the city's doing the job.
Does anyone else have any other requirements?
I think we probably ought to do this. Are you going to attach this?
Yeah.
So they'll know the number of feet?
Yes.
Because it'll make a significant difference.
David, this is.
3 feet or 3 feet?
Yeah, this was one of the pages. I mean, I can make a copy
No.
of what it was one of the 6 pages that we had kind of drafted together.
I'm just saying, I think we need to tell them exactly what it is we're submitting, where and how many feet.
Well, Mr. Piper done this, he was gonna do so many feet each year, but
No, this is just one.
that's gonna cover all that this time.
Yeah, and he said there's even more we could do, but this was just kind of his first kind of swoop. And this was kind of what Jim saw as kind of the bare minimum, just to get us moving and moving in the right direction. And the reason I wanted this in the paper 2 weeks ago, I firmly believe we're not going to get a bid that's anywhere close to what we can do it in-house for. And while we're farting around, to quote one of my favorite judges, we're farting around trying to get a bid in the paper, there's guys that are applying for unemployment benefits.
They couldn't have done any work anyway. They can't complete a job we got, our own people.
I understand that because of the weather and the holdup from MoDOT. Once that's done, they could very seamlessly start this. Debbie, do you have any questions in regard to what Jess wants in the bid?
No, that was my question to you and Travis from the beginning was, were we supposed to require a bid bond? Because I just used some documents Travis had done before to kind of put together the bid packet.
Do you have any questions, Travis? Anyone have anything else they would want to? All right, then we'll get it published. It should appear in the paper a week from Wednesday. We'll have bids open for 3 weeks, I would guess, and we'll open bids at the end of March. All. Does that sound appropriate? A month from now. All right. Last thing on the agenda, citizen comments. Are there any citizen comments?
I forgot what the airport grant was going to be used for. Is that
We've got an opportunity to apply for it. It's through MoDOT, right, Terry? And it's there's 2 different things we can do. We can go in and re-asphalt it, or we can chip and seal. And chip and seal is the cheaper solution. That's what we're looking to do. We have to put in 10% of the grant match with 10%. I believe years ago, I think according to Perry, it was what, $90,000.
I think that's the figure we used, 90,000 was the last year, and he has no problem with that, but except for he's concerned about that being 90 and the same job for one of the other companies being 135, and now he can go ahead and do the job if the insurance requires is more than 90 or 100 or 115 or what up to, and I give him the 135, like we're good to go.
Inflation, huh?
I'll call him tomorrow morning.
Any other citizen comments? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll do that.
We have a second. Call for a vote.
We won't sit here all night for you.
Good, I'll put on.
Wayne,
Aye.
Larry,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Jen, or Jess, sorry.